Access Bank is reportedly in talks about a potential acquisition of assets belonging to Bob Diamond's Atlas Mara Limited, as Nigeria's biggest lender seeks to expand its reach in the rest of Africa. This is according to people who are familiar with the matter. Access Bank is reportedly interested in Atlas Mara's businesses in Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. People said, asking not to be identified because the matter is private. Deliberations are in preliminary stages and no final decision has been made. If successful, Atlas Mara will be left with its largest investment, a 49.97% stake in Union Bank of Nigeria PLC, which gives it a footprint in Africa's largest economy. A deal would also mark the second transaction between Atlas Mara and Access Bank after the Nigerian lender agreed to buy its Mozambique unit at the end of September. Joining us to discuss this plus more is our ICE business analyst, Chika Mbono. Chika, you're welcome.
How are you today?
I'm very fine, so thanks for joining us. So it's actually on this day, the central bank directs
the
banks
newspaper of choice.
The newspaper of choice, exactly. What do you make, Chika? We talked about this when they had the first circular. What do you make of the update?
Just in continuation of the reassurance to the aspirant citizens that the CBN is very serious and the policy is irreversible. And so that if you bring in your foreign currency, you'll be paid US dollars in Nigeria. You have the choice to collect your cash or it will be credited to your domiciliary account. Unlike before, where you'll be given Naira. I guess the instruction to close those Naira accounts is just to avoid the temptation that it can be converted to Naira. So that let them know that that cannot happen. You have the right to get your transfers in dollars or into your domiciliary account. We remember you asked the question last time and said how are we sure that this is going to stay?
Right.
How can it be maintained?
Right.
I guess this is a further reassurance to the citizens that their money is safe. They're going to get it in dollars as CBN has promised. So and that promise, that reassurance will give people the confidence to push in more dollars into the economy as it is.
Fantastic. What about the timings? December? Are we expecting a lot of that to come in?
This period. The in-it and I'm in town, guys. I just got into town. People are brothers and sisters.
Right.
Even though our COVID directorate has said Nigeria shouldn't come back.
Right.
Our brothers shouldn't come back. They should just spend their Christmas abroad. But I do sure know that a lot of them are going to come back. Because there's this sentiment that help is on the way. Highest 6 months, how many months time you get the vaccine?
Right.
So whatever it takes. So usually this period you have a bunch of inflows of foreign currency because people are coming in for Christmas from abroad.
Fantastic. And the Naira still looks like it's been appreciated as well, right? We touched on that.
Yeah.
So I guess that was a consequence of...
A consequence of that. I mean, these are early days. These are really early days. And what you see now is sentiment. It's not due to real flows. I'm sure with as this policy sinks in, indeed one of my clients this morning asked me to send him the CBN policy and asked me whether it's for real, and I said it's for real.
Okay.
So, and he has things to do from US. So I have a feeling that as people get more confident, they're going to, the supplies will start coming in, and then it will better affect the exchange rate.
Fantastic. Well, Chika, I want to get your thoughts on this Atlas Mara Access Bank. We've talked about, 2 or 3 stories on Access Bank acquisition.
Access Bank wants to be known as the African gateway to the world. And it can be African gateway to the world if you're just, quarantined in Nigeria.
Right.
So you got to expand your net. Hitherto, they were, I think, in Rwanda and in East Africa. And they have made successful acquisitions in, I think, Zambia and Kenya. And then we'll talk about that in this program also. Yes. They have had some acquisition in South Africa, which are working, and then Mozambique. And so if they're, cheap assets, you will know that Atlas Mara was quoted in the London Stock Exchange. Yes. And the shares have fallen by more than 3% since the listing. And so I guess the dream and the vision didn't work out. And so Atlas Mara has been trying to, in geographies where their vision didn't work, or they can find partners that are willing to sell. And so where those assets are available, I do believe that Access Bank and other similar banks will pick up that. Even they have sold some of the assets to Kenya Commercial Bank already in some other 2 other countries. It's just so that's what it is. If the assets are available, people will pick them, because it's easier, for a Nigerian bank that's making a foray into another country. It's easier to pick up a bank that's already existing than a greenfield license. Greenfield license takes you more tortuous journey. So if you have a bank that's already existing, it's better to pick it up. So I'm sure is along this line, even though Access Bank has not confirmed this, but it fits into their plan to be in 22 African countries and to be African gateway to the world.
Do you think this increases? I mean, if other banks are saying what they are doing, you think this might, as far as the sector, where other banks will be looking to? Well,
every bank runs their strategy. Every bank runs their strategy. Guarantors Bank. I'm just talking about the banks, the United banks that have international licenses. Guarantors Bank, First Bank, UBA, even FCMB. FCMB has a location, So it depends on their strategy. Even Fidelity Bank has international banking license, even though they have not used it already yet. So it depends on the bank strategy and their capital structure and their own timings. Do recall also that Guarantors Bank, in their whole core strategy, decided to have Guarantors Bank West Africa, GTB East Africa, and then of course GTB Nigeria, along with the other asset management and pension companies they want to set up. So I'm sure that as the opportunities come up, they're going to pick. But it depends on the strategy of each bank. Yes, now Access Bank is on fire.
Indeed. Thank you for that. Chika, I want to get your thoughts on the ports. Earlier on the morning show, the managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority was on. She talked about a number of issues. That's Hadiza Bala Usman, exclusive interview with Arise TV, where she talks about a number of issues, including reducing of cost of governance. So let's actually take a listen to what she said on that question on cost of governance.
I've cut off so many things, There are little payments that are made that all add up to increase in cost of governance. And some of these things you don't even realize you're approving 1, 2, 3, and it builds up. So one of the things that we've done is to reduce travel. So travel is a huge thing in public sector, I'm sure you'd know. So I've said, you need to do this, have a Zoom meeting, do it online, because we have 6 port locations. So our staff are quick to say, we need to go to all ports to do this, but not minding that you don't need to physically go. So these are some of the areas that I've worked to reduce cost of governance. Travel is one thing. You also have areas of unnecessary overheads of other agencies, National Assembly. So there are all these little things that all add up. So we're keen to reduce that. And more so now, COVID has shown that you can do a lot of things virtually. And that, for me, is big. So a lot of our workshops, our conferences, and all of that, we've encouraged for them to be done as webinars, for them to not to have that physical interface. And physical interface really costs a lot of money. And we've also learned to have vehicles being used as pool vehicles as opposed to having vehicles assigned to offices and officers. So when you need to go on an official assignment, you book and the car will be made available to you, but not for it to be assigned to you, which would mean the organization would have a higher number of vehicles because everybody has a vehicle assigned to themselves. So these are the areas we've done. Also stationery, printing, trying to do more communication and e-deployment as much as possible, even though government likes to sign and approve physically.
All right, Chika, what do you, there's so much, we've talked about the ports extensively on this show, but I want to get your take. You've also talked about reducing cost of governance, so what do you make of that?
I guess she's spoken right about, MPA, and we hope that replicates in other government-owned enterprises, the MASA and such like, MPA, FAN, and other airport government-owned enterprises. Right. But I didn't watch the program fully, but I hope they ask question on the cost of doing business. For me, that's what is relevant for her role. The cost of doing business for Nigerian importers and exporters, and because it's touched us now. And in every way, And I'm hoping that that was addressed. And that's for me the major role of MPA, and in helping the cost of doing business in Nigeria to reduce. We have had cause to talk about it here, and we said that the kind of torture that importers go through. Today I was speaking to an exporter, and then they had to do with the export-free zone. And I said, how is it working? And he told me that it just takes time, even to move the goods to the ports, with the inspections and stuff like that. It's just very discouraging for import. And for a nation that is trying to diversify revenue base, MPA is one area that they should look at to make sure that things are predictable. You can say that if my goods leave my factory, and this is the time it's going to enter the ship, and this time it's going to get overseas. But Nigeria, if my goods coming from China or France to the port, this is how long it takes to clear it. All those things are not working in Nigeria. And the cost, extra cost, the burden on the manufacturers or exporters is onerous, is a lot.
Chika, I remember when we talked about Kenya, where they were making changes using technology to the ports, and you made a particular point of quoting the President Kenyatta, where he directly spoke to this matter. Does that need to happen here? Do we need to hear from the President here about this matter?
Not even that. I mean, there's something in the press about 2 or 3 days ago, where the Oversight Committee of the House of Reps went to the ports, and they were just, they were shocked at how bad the road is. And I was saying that this is a place that the government makes almost 40 billion a week or a day. I can't remember the exact amount. And what can they spend money and make life easy for people? The roads are in a mess. And so you find containers, trailers, current containers sometimes falling and goods spoiling and that. I'm just saying that everybody in the chain must work towards making sure that the ease of doing business is walk the talk. It's not just the talking about it, but it's actually happening. As at now, it's not like that.
So it's still an infrastructure. It's an infrastructure matter.
And it has also the issue of consistency of policies. One day you will hear one government minister will say something to the east, the next day another person will say something to the west, then I want to say something to the south. You don't know which one is which one. And it's that every day. Look at the issue of border. One minister said very soon the border will open. The other minister said the border the queue will be thrown into the ocean. Right. One day somebody said the conversion to gas vehicles will be free. Right. The next day somebody said no, it's not free. 250 per car, and so it worries you whether there's no cohesion, right, between in governance, or people don't think through this before they just speak, and those. So you can imagine somebody in an investment room in New York or London doing strategy. So in the morning he does a strategy on the basis of Minister of Finance. The next day he has Mr. Nanono of Agriculture saying the queue will be thrown into the ocean. Right. So you don't know which one to listen to, and so it's just confusing. And for a nation, the state we're in now, every trickle matters.
Arise business analyst Chika Bono, thank you so much for your insights on this stories. You're watching the Global Business Report on Arise News.